Hey, what's up, guys? It's Chris Baker from Hauntcast. This is the first part in a three-part video series on milling foam tombstones, plaques, or signs. We're using a Shapoko 3 by Carbide 3D to do all the work. Before we get there, we have to design the template and the epitaph, so we're going to use Adobe Illustrator to do just that. If you really dig this video, make sure you support us at patreon.com/Hauntcast. Stab the like button and make sure you subscribe. Let's get busy.
Hauntcast, radio for haunters and Halloween fanatics. Oozing with haunt news, reviews, how-tos, interviews.
Hauntcast.
Subscribe now.
So for part one in the CNC tutorial, we need to create the plaque and the epitaph. Now I will be using Carbide Create to create the toolpaths, to export the G code, but first we need to use some design tools, and the design tools that are in Carbide Create, which is made by Carbide 3D, the makers of the Shapoko 3. The tools here are lackluster at best, so I'm going to use one of the best tools, which is Adobe Illustrator. So what we need to do is open up Adobe Illustrator, create a new file. So we're going to call this the Bella Tombstone. And the width needs to be 11 inches, and the height needs to be 8.5. Okay, we're doing this in inches. It's going to create one artboard, and we don't need any bleed. We're not printing this. So let's go ahead and create that. And here's our artboard. Starting off, what we need to do is left click on the, right click on the rectangle tool. And we're going to create a rectangle the exact size of the box. Click the select tool, make sure our measurements over here are perfect, and they are. In appearance, we want to change the fill to transparent. We want to, the stroke is black, right? The stroke is black, which is great. And let's bump that up to 3 points. Next, let's go ahead and right click on the ellipse tool and shift and click and drag, which will give you a perfect circle. If you don't, you'll get an ellipse. We want a perfect 1 inch circle. Okay, so let's go over here and close enough. 9.99. Click and drag the circle over the edge until both purple lines appear and the intersect is dead on middle. We're going to use the Alt key or the Option key on a Mac, and we're going to click and hold that, or press and hold that button in, and we're going to drag this over, the circle over, and it makes a duplicate. We'll do that with each of the 4 corners. So press in the Option or Alt key, click on the circle, and drag down until you see the 2 lines in the perfect intersection. And we're going to do the same thing for the corner. See, we want these corners to be cut out. We don't want them to be square. We don't want them to be rounded. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do on your project, but I want these cut out with the plaque. Oh, we lost our circle over here. Let's do this. Let's do this again. Bingo. Okay, so we've got all 4 corners. Excellent. Okay, you can open up Pathfinder if it's not opened. And what we want to do is select the circle, select the square. And then we want to use the minus front option. I'm going to do that each time. Circle, square, click on minus front. Okay. Undo. Minus back. Circle, square, minus back, circle, square, minus back. It's either minus front or minus back. It all depends on the layering. I'm not going to get too bogged down with that. All the specifics of Illustrator. Watch some other Illustrator videos for more in-depth use of some of these tools. This is just a quick overview. Next, we need to select text. Let's get some text in here. Get the text tool. Now, for the text, I'm using a font called Vink. Really like this look of this. We need it to be 100 points, and the kerning needs to be at least 35. We can actually probably even go 40. Okay? What that does is kerning adds a little bit more space between the letters here, which gives the router a little bit more, let's say it's less likely to bleed. The tool is less likely to, to cut over into some of the other text, especially with foam, as pieces could break off. So this is our text. Let's change that text to children. Come on, children of the night. Bump this down. Comma. What music they make. Forgot the quotes. Let's get the quotes in there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to align. If this is not open, go up to Window and select Align. Okay. So we want to align this. So let's go to Select Tool, select Text, select the box, and click Align Middle. So we want to get this centered and click that. There we go. So now we have it perfectly centered, left, right, top, bottom. Use your arrow keys to reposition. For some reason, the box moved when I did that. Not sure why. So let's reposition this back. There we go. Everything is centered and lined up. So we've got our text. Now, next step before we do anything else, let's click inside the box here and it will select all the text. Then we need to go up to type. We need to scroll down to change outlines or create outlines. What this does is it creates a path around the font. If we export the file without doing this, Carbide Create will not be able to, you can't work with the text. It basically is unusable. It needs only recognized paths. So we're creating these vector paths around the font. And now we can export the file so that we can use it in Carbide Create. So let's jump up here to File, Export, Export As. We'll call it the Bella Tombstone, and the format needs to be SVG. So it can't be JPEG, any of the, it has to be SVG for it to be used in Carbide Create. Then we export the file. We've already done a file with the same name, so we'll replace it. Click OK. We're ready for step 2 to import this file into Carbide Create and create some toolpaths. I hope you like part 1 in our 3-part video series on milling foam tombstones with a Shapoko 3 CNC router. If you want more video tutorials and product review videos, as well as monthly Hauntcast podcast episodes, please support us at patreon.com/Hauntcast, just like these amazing backers did. Stay scary, my fiends.